the fuck is that? Louis!
Yes, sir.
Get out! Because what the fuck are you doing?
Sorry, chef.
Yeah, do me a favour.
Yes, chef.
Take that off. Give me the fucking jacket. And fucking up out of here. Get out! Yes! Get fucked!
Alright, let's get into it. Elden Ring has been out for a while now and has changed the landscape of Souls games forever. You can forget about it being a bestseller or the jumping on point for so many new fans, because in the eyes of many, it has pushed the Souls concept to its limits to deliver the best Souls game experience. But as time goes on, there also seems to be a growing voice of those wanting a return to the older style of games, a much more linear and grounded approach. Now, I've already done a review here on the channel, but really, that was more just like an initial reaction kind of thing. Now that I've had a lot more time to sit on this game, I think it's fair to go back onto my thoughts about this game, because it's surprising how much it's changed. I really didn't think I'd have any problems with Elden Ring, and it's honestly just interesting to kind of talk about those in this review. But I'll tell you something that never changes. Sponsored content, sponsorinoed by Displate. What the bloomin' heck is going on here? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Get this trash out of here. I want Displate. Displate are unique metal posters that you can mount onto your walls in just 20 seconds with no special tools. It's all magnetic. This is me unboxing mine. I don't even know why it needs so much shipment protection. It looks like these plates are all tucked in for bedtime. Snooze snooze. You will find all of your passions printed on metal here. Movies, gaming, music, etc, etc. I went for Varty Videos and Iron Pineapple designs here because they're sick. Super quick 4 to 5 day delivery, printed in the EU, all that jazz. And what I love the most is how quick and easy the installation is. It literally took me 10 seconds. And now I have a collection of Displates. I can just swap them over whenever I like.
These are all magnets, right? I wonder if I could throw one on. I don't think the sponsor will like this, but I want to do it. Oh! Now we just do this. Now I can just move it like that, it's fantastic.
Ever since having these, I much prefer having this than paper prints. And what's better is that this can even be cheaper than those paper prints using my link below, or using my discount code ZeroLenny, getting 32% off 1 or 2 plates, or 38% off of 3 or more plates. I've been wanting to get more Displates for a while now, and I got sent these for the ad, which is the only reason I took this ad, for the posters. I'm not even joking. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, so that's a double joke. Honestly, thanks for Displate for sponsoring this video. Use my link below or discount code ZeroLenny to access my special promo for all designs. Okay, well, there's only one place you can really start when talking about Elden Ring: the open world. There's things here which I really like, and surprising to me, things that I now dislike. Let's get the positives first. I really like how the open world changes the bossing experience. What I mean by this is, like, let's say for example you're stuck at a boss and you need to grind some levels to get stronger so you have a better shot. In a normal Souls game, well, yeah, you're gonna have to grind, clearing out the same 1 or 2 corridors of enemies over and over again until you're good to go. But in Elden Ring, not only does the game want you to get stuck at a boss, it plays into it so amazingly well. Perfect example right from the start of the game with Morgott. There's a big fucking gold line in the sky, you go there, you get your wiener blown off. So now it's clear that you need to come back stronger. But rather than just going outside and grinding those soldiers there, it's now like, oh, okay, like how about I go down to this castle here instead? You're actually just playing the game, doing something new and cool, and you'll probably get like, what, 3 or 4 levels from this? Now, of course, in Souls games, if you're stuck in an area, you can always leave, like, I don't know, just like go to another area for a bit. That's nothing new. But with Elden Ring, you now have like 20 different choices of where you want to go. And I love that. It's like the open world exists just to make you stronger. And it's up to you how much you want to grind for it. Like, I don't know, maybe you just want to do 1 or 2 dungeons or ruins, get like a few levels and come back and try again. Or maybe you can just go crazy and do like 20 different dungeons, get sidetracked in a completely new area and boss, eventually come back, and then you can slap Morgott's wiener off. And yet, I know I have quite literally explained the point of an open world and what it's meant to do for any player in any game. I'm just saying, I think the way it's implemented and adapted into the game is really well done. It serves a very satisfying purpose. You can take as little or as much from it as you like, and I love that. Right, now I want to talk about what I don't like, and it's kind of a spin on a major complaint I've heard from a lot of people. A lot of people say that Elden Ring's open world is either too big or too empty, and I kinda half agree with that, but hear me out. For me, I don't think Elden Ring's world is too big or empty. I think they've done an amazing job of cramming this world with so many little set pieces, little points of interest, enemies, NPCs, anything. It's very easy in this game to fall into any sort of content if you travel for more than 20 seconds. But the huge problem is, once you know exactly where everything is. I'm going to give an example here of both a first-time player and an experienced player who both want to make, like, I don't know, a faith strength build, let's say. Now, the first-time player is really going out into the world, interacting with it, finding these little castles, little packs of enemies. They'll get off and fight them because, like, why wouldn't they? They don't know what's in these ruins. For all they know, in these random ruins, there could be their build-defining item. There's no reason why it wouldn't be. The new player is constantly interacting with the world, and even if they don't get something that they can use immediately, like let's say for example the big anchor, well then it just gets them excited. It sets up future goals that they didn't even know that they had yet, and those feelings in an open world is undeniably one of the best irreplaceable feelings of this game. Now, the experienced player. They start the game and they go, yep, Estus, 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 best strength faith weapon, best spell, Estus, Estus, and yep, here we go. Yeah, I called it Estus. Who's the fucking nerd out here saying, actually it's Cerulean Tears? Shut the fuck up. It's called Estus. And this is where I half agree with people. Yes, the world does feel empty once you know exactly where everything is. Now you have zero reason to get off here. That little ruin that we just passed, you know exactly what's there. It's nothing for you. Like, why would you get off? I don't need that. I don't. Just keep running for another 8 minutes. So although there's all this content right in front of your face, it then feels weirdly empty. I mean, for goodness sake, like really think here. When's the last time you went down to the massive ant section here? It's a shame, because I really think this area is a very memorable encounter. I don't think I've ever been here since like release. Like, I don't know, like when I didn't know. And I was like, oh, well, let's go down here in case there's something amazing for my build here. Can you see what I'm saying here? Knowing better just kills this open world on the spot. Now, like I said with my positives about the open world, that's maybe a problem with all open world games, not just Elden Ring in specific. But for me, Elden Ring magnifies and multiplies this problem, because in Elden Ring, you don't want to be shortchanged. The game is very fucking hard. When preparing for these fights, running around doing your little 2-hour checklist, because of the overwhelming difficulty, you want to be prepared better than most open world games. You don't want to be shortchanged. You need to know where the extra Estus is, that weapon upgrade. Without them, you're just gonna feel like an underprepared chump. Again, yes, I know this is a problem with all open world games, but all I'm saying is that I just think because of the crazy difficulty on display here, I feel like more players are inclined just to start ignoring open world set pieces. Look up a guide, where's the Estus, you know what I mean? It's like, and then you're just running around again. Then all of a sudden, you have a very empty open world. Dear oh fucking dear, it's time to talk about Godskin Duo. Let's fucking go. Elden Ring's endgame and difficulty has also been a huge point of contention for a lot of players. So I'm going to try and break this one down before I talk my talk. As you progress in any Souls game, the challenges that are presented to the player need to keep evolving alongside the player. It's no mistake why a lot of these big mid-game transitioning to late-game bosses, such as Smorn Ornstein or Pontiff Sullivan, are so memorable, loved, and iconic. Those fights act as a rite of passage into the big leagues. Throughout the game, things have been slowly ramping up, and then boom, you got like a big boss, finally beat them, hit the peak of the difficulty mountain, and then from there, you transition into the end game. Now, usually, the hike up this mountain is a pretty linear one, but with Elden Ring, it's maybe the most jagged path. Once you beat that big transitional mid to late game boss, like, I don't know, let's say Radahn would be a good candidate for this. You climb that peak, and when you get to the top, there's just another mountain on top of that, then another, then another, then a fucking another. Now for some, like myself, it's an absolute treat because you want to keep getting new challenges to push you to what you thought was possible in these games. But I also feel that somewhere along the way, it lost what actually made a fight difficult. Right from the start, the game is demanding what is pretty late game knowledge from previous games. The best example is roll catching attacks. Even the first bosses in Elden Ring, if you spam roll, you will get punished. So this does bring up a very interesting conversation. Is that a good thing? Because I think a lot of people would say yes, and say, well, it's a good thing that it's teaching the player not to build this bad habit of spamming roll, and if you punish that behaviour right away from the start, it'll make you a better player in the long run, which I agree with. But fucking hell, take Dark Souls 3 for example. Like, yeah, sure, when you're just starting, getting your bearings on the game, you can get away with spam rolling Vort, but then later when Pontiff shows up, it's gonna catch you out and and then you have that learning moment. But here, to me, it's just like, well, fucking hell. Just let a new player have a bit of a fucking breathe before trying to throw this stuff onto them. Like let them spam roll a boss or two, you know, at least let them know what fucking day it is before teaching them a concept that in a previous game was exclusive to the end game. Do you know what I mean? It is good to kind of teach those players early on. But fucking hell, man. And even if you want to be an elitist here and say, oh, well, that's their problem, they should get good. Well, first of all, shut the fuck up. And second of all, you've got to think of the problem that this creates. If that's the level it demands from the start, where the hell is it gonna go from there? And where it goes, in my opinion, is a very, very rocky endgame. I really think, as far as pushing attack patterns, rolling and timing, you know, the actual skillful parts of the game peaks in its ideas of that at King Morgott. They have a bunch of really extended combos, switching up both slow and quick. The openings are very well telegraphed, well deserved too. The health bar and the damage feel pretty spot on for this moment too. It's a great fight to show all the concepts that the game's been teaching you and pushing it right out there. But from here, once that peak has been hit, it feels like to me they didn't know how to push it further from that. No better example than the next boss after this, Fire Giant. Did you level health to 40? No? Oh, fuck it, one shot. Despite this, quite literally, just being haha turn funny damage number up to make it harder, bro, what sucks the most about this is that you can just feel how artificial it all is. I mean, all of these games have returning early game enemies that come back and like do more damage than before, but in Elden Ring, it's just so obvious that, you know, again, no better example than Melania. Great moveset, fantastic fight, but that boss did not need a heal back. Again, as I said before, I feel like the attack patterns on display here are maybe not too dissimilar in difficulty and readability to Morgott. But then, this has to be harder than Morgott. So then it's like, oh fuck it, it just heals now. It's like, come on now. This section has just been a huge ramble, so I'm going to close it off with the best boss in Elden Ring, Godskin Duo. This is genuinely maybe the worst boss in Souls history. Either this or like Congregation from Dark Souls 2. Because the thing is, you say like bosses which everyone hates, like Bed of Chaos, for example. And yeah, Bed of Chaos sucks. But they at least fucking tried, you know, like, did it work out? Like, hell no, that boss is a mess. But at least they gave it a go. Here, with Godskin Duo, I genuinely find it more offensive because they did not even fucking try. It is a copy and paste job. Slap on like what, 2.5 times health and damage because it's Elden Ring late game, and you end up with such a clear product of, oh fuck, we introduced all these advanced concepts at the start of the game. How do we make it harder? 50 vigor? Alright, well, usually in my review kind of things, we have more sections than this, but really, like, those are the two main problems I have with this game. Everything else is pretty spot on. So the question becomes this: are these two pretty glaring issues gonna stop this game from being my favorite Souls entry? Honestly, I wish the answer was more black and white, because I can't give a yes or no answer. Fuck it, I probably can give a yes or no answer, to be honest. Nah, I still think it's my favourite one. Like, if I just wanted to randomly play a Souls game on the sofa for a laugh, you're getting a lot of mileage from Elden Ring here. It has the most actual variety within builds. When you pick up a sword, it may well truly be unique from any other sword. You really can just sit down one evening and go like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna make like a Dex Pyromancy build, and then you have so many choices already. But that's when the problems start. From that point, because there's so many choices, you're probably just gonna look up the best pyromancies or the best weapons, whatever, and then you make your nice little fucking checklist, like here, there, and there you go. Three hours of running around picking all that up. This is a huge reason why I don't even stream this game like for fun on the Twitch side of things, because I just feel bad for putting people through this. Like I can't put my audience through like an hour or 2 hours of just running around Limgrave before it's like what? When the game actually does begin, well, you've got quite the game on your hands, undeniably. Even when you do get to that really kind of overdone end game, it's really fun to see how your little idea of that little character you wanted to make, how it stacks up against these overcooked health bar messes. I think what I'm really trying to say is, with Elden Ring, the less you know, the better. You really are gonna get the most out of this game on that golden first playthrough, where there could be any item in any place. Your build, your next build defining item could be right there, and going there and maybe getting it or maybe not is a memorable, unique and amazing feeling of this game. And the best thing is, we will all probably go through this feeling once again when the DLC drops, that golden age of discovery when you're truly interacting with that open world. And it's a shame you can't really play like that ever again. But I guess that's not a bad thing about the game, because that's just kind of how like every game goes. What I'm trying to say is, with Elden Ring, those replays become more and more increasingly obnoxious when you have to run around for another 2 hours every time, and your reward for all of that work is a copy and paste boss that 2 shots. Is it the most challenging and exhilarating combat we've got in a Souls game? Probably, which is why it's still my favourite. And it's made even more fun by the fact that you have so many choices of what you can do. But those choices often end up being very boring ones to take. But only if you know exactly where it is. If you don't, you're having the time of your life. When you replay and know where everything is, all of a sudden, you just kind of wish you were playing Dark Souls.